to follow up on our best of 2015 list with the 10 best games we played in 2015 that did not actually come out in 2015.
Yes.
It's very confusing. we ended up playing a lot of games this year after we got finished with crazy stuff. We got a lot of new games and played them and kind of caught up on some of the older games that we hadn't gotten a chance to play yet. And we had so many when we tried to do our best games we played in 2015. We said, oh, this is very difficult and maybe not as relevant to other people. So this is a follow-up game. If you want to watch our video on best games from 2015, we'll put a link here somewhere. That should already be up.
And follow-up to our last video, we had so many overlapping games this time that we decided just to average them out into one overall top 10.
Right, and then we'll tell you where we each placed each of them, but there's a lot of overlap in this one, so. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Before we get started, you should hit the subscribe button, follow us on Facebook. Sorry, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. It's very confusing. Check out the website to see custom recommendations for these games, and you can fill out a form and see what we think you'll think of them. But with all that out of the way, on to the games. So we have one honorable mention that was on one of our top 10 lists, but didn't make the average top 10 list, so I'm very sad. That's Pictomania. It's a lot of Travadal's Pictionary game, which is insane because everyone draws and guesses all at the same time. If you tried the easy level of Pictomania, try it on one of the harder levels. We played the easy level and it was kind of, we're like, oh, okay. It was just a little too easy to draw something real quick and then go too fast and then you got left behind. But when you go into the harder cards where you're trying to tell the difference between bar and diner and counter, then you have to do like a bunch of little crazy little bits of detail on it that make it like more fun to draw the things because you have to actually, it's not just drawing as fast as you can, you have to actually kind of work it out a little bit, and the game became just like exponentially more fun.
It did, yeah. It didn't make my top 10, but I agree with that assessment.
I had it at 6, so I liked it a lot. It takes your normal game and makes it fun.
I had it somewhere around, I don't know, 13 or something like that.
But it fell off the list and I was very sad.
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie, what was number 10?
Number 10 was another Monticello game.
Hello.
Dungeon Pets.
I had it at number 8.
And I had it at number 9.
Somehow it became 10. Math.
Math. We don't use numbers. The computer does.
It's sort of a follow-up to a lot of Dungeon Lords. Dungeon Lords, you were evil masterminds sending your minions to build you a dungeon, and then explorers came and fought the dungeon.
Yeah, but this is like the way more fun version of that game, because in this one, all of the imps have given up on building a dungeon and instead are raising pets, and you have to do things like feed them, and then they poop in their cages and you have to clean them, and then you have to try to sell them to the visiting passing by wizards, and it's just silly. I mean, it's still full of good...
Oh, really like... It's kind of a hardcore Euro game,
It's still
really.
like a hardcore worker placement game, but it's also really silly. So, for that reason, I really enjoy playing this game. More so than its predecessor.
It's kind of insane. It's fun, though. But yeah. So check it out if you don't like Dungeon Lords.
Yeah.
Alright, next. Stephanie has the box cover for this one. Hold it up. Aiden's a Smurf?
No.
Number 9. We're going to 9.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
Number 9 is Splendor.
I had this at 7.
I had this at number 10.
So, it's a really simple game where you pick up tokens that you use to buy other cards, but then the cards count as permanent tokens, and it's literally like a 2-page rule book. I think it's 4 with the like credits and everything, and it's just really easy to teach, and it's actually got a lot of like fun strategy to it, and plays in half an hour, 20 minutes. It's just really fun to get out there.
Yeah, it's easy to teach, quick to play. I think I just placed it lower because
you just like a lot of other games.
I liked a lot, yeah.
But play this with new gamers instead of Settlers, because Settlers is dumb. Oh no, we just don't like Settlers. Catan is supposed to. That's kind of funny.
Catan, they
rebranded. I forgot it. But no, it's a really good introductory game as well. Especially if people want like more like strategy focused games. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
There's very little randomness other than what cards flip up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, next. I spoiled
Number 8. Adam spoiled it. And that was Agents of Smirch, which was the next edition was redone through the Kickstarter this year. So
we considered putting it on 2015, but decided against it.
Yeah. So
I had that at 9.
I had that at 4. I really like the sort of Tales of the Arabian Nights style storytelling games. This one is actually more of a game than Arabian Nights in that you have like actual goals that you're trying to meet.
You have to like roll dice to accomplish things instead of just like...
It's cooperative. You're all trying to actually defeat henchmen in this sort of James Bond Cold War style take on the evil henchman villain style story. But you're also going on these different spy stories while you're doing it. The theme is right up my alley. The type of game is right up my alley. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, Stephanie will like any game that is spies or heists. She loves co-op games, and she loves games that have story in it. So, would you have it at 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a reason for that. I'll also note there are going to be a lot of co-op games on this list. We tend to be more toward that. So that's why probably a lot of the early games are the more competitive ones. All right, next up. You want to say this one? This was much higher on your list than mine.
Sure. So number 7 is Imperial Settlers.
I don't know. So Stephanie doesn't like co-op games. She doesn't like really thinky games. Generally, or sorry, she doesn't like competitive games.
Yeah.
She generally slides away from the too thinky games, but loves this game.
So,
it's like her favorite game.
This game, I think where this game really shines is particularly as a solo game. I think it's a really great engine building game.
Yeah, it's true.
I think that this is a really fun game where you can actually you can build your deck that forms your engine, and then play it out. So and you sort of are tableau building. It's resource management. There's a lot of different elements in it that I really like. All the different factions.
There's play totally differently.
Totally differently. So you get a lot of different experiences. It's not all the same every time you play it. You can, like I said, you can build your deck. So even when you do play it, you can play with different cards in your deck. You can have different experiences every time that you're when you take out your cards. You can have different experiences with different cards. So there's a lot of...
The rules are really easy to grok, too. I think that's a big part of it, is that there's not... The game was actually designed... What was the other game? It was like 51st State or something?
Yeah, it re-implements a lot of the rules from 51st State.
With the idea of you don't have artificial restrictions on how many times you can do an action or how many times you can do this. It's like, you can do stuff as much as you have resources to do it. And so... Consequently, that makes it really easy to learn and get through because you're not having to like constantly check rulebooks. You're like, this costs this much. Okay, I do it.
Yeah. So the reason I say it shines as a solo game is because I think we played it like once or twice together, and then I went and played it by myself like a billion times and fell in love with it. And I don't think you had that same experience. So
no, I had it at 10. Like I thought it's a really solid game. It's a lot of fun. I really tend to like engine building games.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't have it higher. I had it at 3. So, like I said, I really enjoy this game. So, but you're right. In general, these sorts of games are not my wheelhouse, but I think it's a particularly good version of those kinds of games. So.
All right. The next is number 6.
Number 6.
You want to talk about this one as well because you also have
this one is my number 1.
And my number 11. So
Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective.
It makes me angry when I play it, but I like it, but it makes me angry when I play it, so it's like I have very mixed emotions about it.
Yeah, so this one is a totally deductive game in that you are getting clues about a case, and you are supposedly trying to beat Sherlock, which never happens. In my case, not only am I trying to get a positive score, but in general, I'm just trying to beat the case. Like, I sometimes, in my cases, I read every single clue and still sometimes can barely solve the case.
So, just as a brief explanation of how it works, it basically, like, it gives you a spiel that you read, and it's sort of like the beginning of, like, the opening of, like, a detective procedural show where they tell you, like, here's the case, this person was murdered, whatever it is. and they give you a bunch of clues you can follow, and then you just get this book, and it's got all the different addresses that you can go to, and then then you go like, oh, I want to talk to the butcher, and then you look, and there's actually a directory that says the butcher is at 27 Southwest, and then you can go to in the clue book and go to 27 Southwest, and has a paragraph of you talking to the butcher. And so it's one of these story games that we tend to really like. Like we talked about, it shares a lot like from Time Stories in that way. You're like, well, I want to find out about this, and so you can go to this location and you find out more information, and it sort of serves up a story to you that more traditionally would be told in like a TV or a movie or a book, but it gives you some interaction.
Although in this case, it's always some sort of mystery set in Victorian England.
Yeah. And also, you have newspapers for the day, and you have to look through the newspaper and find clues that might relate to the story you're doing. We have a full playthrough of one of the stories. It'll spoil it for you, but it was fun.
But I love solving these mysteries, so this game is my number one. Adam, it infuriates Adam.
I like it, but it makes me mad. So I don't know how to feel.
So basically, the last one I didn't even play it with him. So this is a great game to play solo. But I play it with my mom. She lives like 2,000 miles away, so we can't play it that frequently.
I'll play again, but what'll happen generally is I'm just like, at some point I go, there weren't so many clues there, and we could just go do essentially what is looking through every possibly related thing, and then going, oh, we didn't figure it out.
But it's so gratifying when you finally figure it out, even though you're like, I should have figured that out 2 minutes after getting that clue. But instead I figured it out 2 hours after getting that clue. But when you finally get it, it's so gratifying.
Whereas for me, I'm like, oh, they could have written this better so that it wasn't so like edge case corner of this little thing at the corner of the room. So it makes me upset.
You're just upset because there was one case of the like 5 that we played. There was one case that was very poorly written. It gets better.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was it. It was just a bad experience. All right, so we've got a lot of Stephanie's top ones. Let's do something else. Give me number 5. So number 5 is Hanabi, which is my number 5.
That's my number 6.
It's so cute. You build a fireworks display.
It's so cute, and yet it's so cutthroat.
So this game is strange because you hold up your cards so that you can't see them, only other people can see them, and they have to give you clues about what they are, and you have to put on all the ones. You have to put on a blue 1 before you put on a blue 2, and you have to put on a blue 2 before you put on a blue 3, and try to get them all down. And it's just totally like different than what you're used to because you don't see your own cards. And you're like, okay, well, I can tell you this, but I got to make sure you have something to do so that you don't accidentally discard the 5 that there's only one of. And it's definitely great in that, like, it can be brain burning, or you can kind of just go, oh, let's do it, and it takes like half an hour. Did you say about half an hour?
Yeah, I think so. And we played it in a lot of different places. Airport,
we played it with we played it with family, we played it with friends, played it with gamers, played non-gamers. Non-gamers go, it's like, oh, they kind of just get it and then go, that's kind of cool. Gamers really want to try to get everything perfectly done. There's a couple different difficulties. Mm-hmm. It's just a great little game. It's totally worth the money. Mm-hmm. I like Hanabi. It's so cute. All right, number 4.
So number 4.
Want me to lift the box?
Yeah, you
hurt
do
yourself.
It. I'm not lifting that thing.
MacLeod. Legendary Encounters, an alien deck building game, I think is the full name.
Correct. And excessive.
So
that was my number 7.
It was my number 2. I really like this game. It's another cooperative game. Shocker. But it takes the Legendary system, which was for Marvel originally, and then set it in the Alien universe. We kind of passed on Legendary because it was cooperative, not cooperative, and I heard some weird things about it.
Which is kind of silly because you can see it sitting right there.
It's right there.
I just haven't played it yet.
Yeah. But I guess the way it worked is like you were all fighting against the main villain, but whoever got the most damage in on him or something won. And so if you played cooperative and didn't care about who got the most points, it was too easy. And so they brought, apparently it's better now with expansions, but I kind of heard some of this and I saw gameplay and I'm like, okay, whatever. But then when the Alien version came out, it became totally cooperative and like, oh my god, you're gonna die. And it was like really difficult. And so we got it, and Have you seen any of the Alien movies all the way through? No. She's like Battlestar Galactica, where she hadn't seen any of the source material and only briefly seen it, and been through it on the Great Movie Ride.
I've seen.
This is Alien.
I've seen like half of
the second one.
The second one. I've seen a couple of scenes from the first one.
Yeah. But she really liked the game despite not caring about the source material. It's a cooperative game. It's a deck building game, which is fun, but there's more to it and how the bad guys work than just attacking one or two guys. It's pretty difficult, even on the base setting, but you can ease it up or make it more difficult. You can recreate scenes from the movies or make your own things. And it took what I thought seemed like a mediocre kind of mechanic in Legendary and made it a lot of fun. And I love Alien, so it definitely helps.
Yeah, I agree that it seems like a lot better than the regular Legendary that we still haven't gotten around to playing, that we have because it was 50% off. And eventually we will play.
Yeah.
The one thing that I'm nervous about is that we've played almost all the scenarios now, and I don't know how replayable it'll feel once you know all the scenarios.
We kept playing with new people, so we replay the same scenario. So we played it dozens of times.
Yeah, so it feels a little bit like
again.
once you know what you're going for, it feels a little bit, it's easier.
That's true.
So.
All right. That was number 4.
Number 3. I'll let you do it.
All right. This was my number 1.
And this was my number 8.
Boo. You are a bad Star Wars fan. If Imperial Assault was not your number 1. Just a bad Star Wars fan.
Sure.
It's Descent.
I'm okay with that.
But it's Star Wars. And it's got miniatures. And you can have Han Solo.
And
you can be Lady Han Solo.
To have a
you can have fake Chewbacca Wookiee.
You've yet to have a successful campaign.
You've had yet to have a successful campaign.
Exactly.
I destroyed you guys.
Exactly.
Anyway, we had a lot of fun with Original Descent. We played through the entire Road to Legend campaign. We started on Seas of Blood, but it was kind of wonky, so we stopped. We got Descent 2nd Edition, which did a lot of good things for it. We still liked it. It became a little gimmicky. The campaign wasn't as fun. But we both love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's Star Wars miniatures. There haven't been good Star Wars miniatures, ever. The West End Games ones were but there's good Star Wars miniatures now.
If you say so.
I'm really excited about it. I love miniatures. I worked at a Games Workshop.
I don't care about miniatures.
It's cool. But it's Descent Star Wars, so, I don't know. It's cool.
I should be excited about it. We just haven't.
We haven't been able to get people consistently together to play through a whole campaign.
We have played the Aftermath, which is the first level of
5, 6 times.
That, at least 4 times now, and have not been able to progress past the 3rd level. So we did play Twin Shadows, which you talked about in the other video, and got utterly destroyed because we were playing with very casual players. So I did put it at my number 8. So. I have high hopes for it.
Anyway, Imperial Assault.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay.
All right.
Moving on.
Number 2.
Number 2. So this was my number 5.
My number 3.
And that is Ghost Story. So we both really like co-op games. And as far as co-op games go, this is one of the hardest. In this game, you are... How would you describe this?
Taoist monks trying to protect the village from ghosts.
Yes.
Ghost incarnations of Wu Fang who's attacking the village. So you have to fend off the ghosts before Wu Fang manifests, and then fend him off and stop the village tiles from getting haunted and stop the monks from dying.
There's various villager powers and your different.
The tiles, the board is set up randomly, and those powers work differently depending on where they're on the board. And each of your monks has variable powers
and you can play this with 1 to 4 people. So we usually play this one 2-player.
It's easier to play if you just control 4 monks regardless.
Yes, we each play usually controlling 2 monks.
It's easy to travel with because the board kind of sets
Yeah, I think we've played. I don't know if we've ever played this one at home. This is one of our top travel games, actually.
Yeah, we don't bring the box, but we just kind of.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's a great co-op game. It's really difficult. You can make it easier if you need to. It's kind of got Japanese theme's really cool.
Yeah, it's one of our top co-op puzzle games. So, ghost stories.
Yeah. All right, we're ready for number 1.
Number 1. This was my number 2.
This is my number 4. So the top spots are occupied by ones that were consistent for both of us.
Yeah.
Stephanie couldn't lift the whole box because it was too heavy.
So I got the cover, and that's because the box itself is filled with like 3 expansions.
That's Eldritch Horror.
Is Eldritch Horror
Number 1.
So we have like all of the Arkham Horrors, and now we have all of the Eldritch Horrors.
We really liked Arkham Horror. We bought all the expansions. We still play it.
Oh yeah.
But it definitely felt like you couldn't control what you were doing or what was happening to your character as much, if that makes any sense. You're like, well, I guess I'll go here and maybe I'll get some money, but it wasn't really very consistent. And so it kind of felt a little bit like Tales of the Arabian Nights, where you're just like, yeah, stuff's going to happen to my character, and I became the shit deputy, and I got a paddy wagon, and we won, or whatever, right? But you didn't feel like you had a lot of agency, I guess. Is that fair?
I guess you could
That's
say
the thing
that.
I love about
I never
Arkham
had a
Horror.
problem with that in Arkham Horror, but I know a lot of other people felt that way.
But this is like, you go to a place and says it usually gives you spells, and then you go there and 75% of the time you get spells as opposed to 1/10 of the time, right?
Yeah.
So it gives you a little more agency. It feels a little more global. I kind of like the theme of Arkham a little better, like it's a little more narrowly focused. But it's a really solid game. It's very obvious that it was
They're very similar games. So I will say I was a big fan of Arkham Horror, so I'm not surprised I'm also a big fan of Eldritch Horror. But I do really like all the different... It's hard for me to judge Eldritch Horror, the base game, without judging all the expansions. And I like all the thematic gooiness, basically, of all the expansions. So it's just it's a hard co-op game. I don't know if we just haven't played it enough, but I feel like we always get our butts handed to us. And
so 1920s era stuff is another one of Stephanie's
this is true.
Definite win themes. So we got spies, we got heists, we got 1920s. If it's got a flapper in it, you're playing it.
This is probably true.
Yeah.
1950s era as well, I guess.
Okay.
As we covered in the last video. But I really like the new expansions with I'm forgetting them now. The one they added
Antarctica stuff and
I liked Antarctica, but I also really liked the ones that added the stuff with the Moai heads and Stonehenge, and it was fun to just explore just random areas of the planet. I feel like you don't get to experience that in games, even if it's only pretend.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to play the Egyptian one. We haven't been able to do that yet, so.
But if you liked Arkham Horror and you're finding it repetitive, Eldritch Horror is great. If you're picking between the two, Eldritch Horror is a better constructed game, I think.
I think you're right. I would only say to go with Arkham Horror if you're really a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft and Arkham.
Yeah, you get a lot more.
It's probably, this one you're trotting the globe, which is a little weird.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I've never actually read H.P. Lovecraft, so.
Yeah.
But it is a little weird, I think, to be globe trotting and then being oh, there's random monster. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, those are but it's just a really solid game.
Yeah.
We played it a bunch.
Anyway, super fun.
Yeah. And that's our top 10 list. So you guys should let us know what games you played in 2015 that were older or new games. Just let us know. Let us know what you thought of our lists. I understand that we are more cooperative focused than maybe other people, but that's okay. You can tell us what you thought of the various games we had here. So hit the subscribe button. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Check out the website. I think a lot of these games are in the system. You can fill out the survey, and it'll give you what our best guess for how well you'll like them. Anything else, Steph? All right. I'm Adam.
Stephanie.
We're here from The Eclectic Gamer. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
All right.